History 101, Lecture 15, Second Great Awakening, New Churches, Campbellites. Before I get started on this, I have a funny story about this one. It's been about 20 years, probably about 20 years ago now. That's all I've been teaching, 23. So 20 years ago. I still think about this when I put this slide up, or this information up, and a student didn't even give me a chance to say anything. They saw this slide and immediately just flipped, got agitated. I guess he thought that I was. He was anticipating I was going to say something he wouldn't like, so he tried to head me off. He thought I was going to say something he didn't like, so before I even was immediately just, ah! I don't remember exactly anymore what it was, but it was hilarious. I still remember it was a young college instructor. I wasn't. To me, there's nothing controversial about this information, and I wasn't going to say anything that I perceived as controversial, but this student thought I was going to say something controversial or something. It was hilarious. So anyway, Campbellites. The lesson there is, don't assume what your teacher's going to say, your judge is going to say, because I don't. Based on what he thought, what I got out of it, I wasn't going to say what he was afraid of. So that was even funnier. That was even more funny. I wasn't going to say what you were going to say. So it was like unnecessary to kind of scream, immediately silence me because you're about to say something I don't like. I wasn't even going to say it. Anyway, it was hilarious. So Campbellites. Thomas and Alexander Campbell. By the way, if anyone out there, if you're watching this video and you see something controversial, I say something, let me know. Let me know what was going to be so horribly controversial about what I was going to say. Anyway, Thomas and Alexander Campbell. I'm literally asking for a fact check on this one because I was like, it was hilarious. I still laugh about it 20 years later. Anyways, Thomas and Alexander Campbell are ministers. They're Frontier Second Great Awakening ministers, kind of going back to this idea of Second Great Awakening theology. They're restorationists. Why are they ministers? Why are they on the frontier preaching? They feel that Christianity in the 19th century is not preaching what Christ taught. Human beings have put in false religion. Human beings have mixed true Christianity with false human ideas, like Greek philosophy and all that. And so they viewed themselves like a lot of restorationists, like a lot of Second Great Awakening ministers. We're preaching Christ. We're not preaching denominations. We're not teaching human ideas. We're preaching what Christ taught. And so they're restorationists. Out of their movement comes modern day churches like, if you've ever heard of the Disciples of Christ and Church of Christ. They're big in the South, in the Midwest. If you ever lived or been out in the Midwest or South, I've lived in the South for 10 years. Oklahoma and Texas. I know Oklahoma, some people it's Midwest, so Midwest, South, Texas and Oklahoma for 10 years. You see a lot of Disciples of Christ and Church of Christ, and so some unique beliefs. Church of Christ, at least the ones I've heard of, are a cappella singing, like no instruments. Like you shouldn't have instruments in church, and so they sing a cappella. So these churches have kind of their interpretations of what is appropriate and not appropriate. But anyway, so I was out there, Hamilton, heavy on this idea of restoration. Christians in the 19th century do not practice Christianity as Jesus taught 1800 years ago. And so out of their movement come specific denominations, Disciples of Christ and Church of Christ. There's non-denominational groups as well. Like you may meet somebody who just says, what church do you go to? I'm Christian. You know, what that means is they attended church that is not specifically denominational. Like Baptist, Methodist, Lutheran, whatever. So anyway, so these are the Campbellites.